What's up, YouTube? So here we are today. We got to do some fixes on my RC390. I thought I'd take this opportunity to really kind of do a review of the Tyga rear sets. I had made a video, but I was really tired and I sounded dumb, so I deleted it and I never published it. So instead of doing an install video, we'll do a repair video, and I'll also do kind of a simple review about these rear sets. So as you can see, the rear sets took a pretty hard hit. Whenever I came off the track, my shifter was flipped around like, upside down. The actual bracket made contact with my swing arm, kind of scratched it a little bit. But all in all, the rest of the bike didn't really take that much damage. The rear set took the damage, and the left clip-on took the damage. So what I'm going to be doing today is replacing this rear set, well, just the bracket, and I'm going to replace this clip-on with the Tyga clip-on and the Tyga upper triple. So all we're going to need to use to replace the rear set bracket, peg, and shift lever are simple hand tools. I've already bought everything from Formula 390. Matt over there is great. He's got pretty much everything in stock that Tyga manufactures for the RC390, and he always ships it out to me really fast. So everything that you'll see here today that I'm installing is made by Tyga and sold to me by Formula 390. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to replace my shift rod. It actually got pretty bent up whenever I crashed. I guess that's what allowed the shifter to get bent around. And this thing is reverse threaded. So you can put one side in, spinning the opposite direction, and I'm just going to spin mine all the way in, so whenever I make adjustments on the shift lever, I can just spin it out by tightening it. The next thing we're going to want to do is install the peg and shifter assembly to our bracket. On this, 2 washers go in between the bracket and the shifter, and then 1 washer goes in between the shifter and the peg. So screw that down, and you're going to want to get it really tight so it doesn't back off. It uses a 5mm Allen wrench. The second to last thing we've got to do is we've got to bolt our bracket back to the main bracket, the main frame bracket, I suppose. This uses a 6mm Allen. Reattach your heim joint to your shift rod. Bolt that back to your shift lever. And then you can make the adjustment to the height of your shift lever. After that, you want to lock down the bolts on either side of the shift rod and put your carbon fiber heel guard back on. And something that was really surprising to me was the fact that this entire bracket assembly got bent, so it was kind of twisted around. The mounting locations for the carbon fiber heel guard were also bent in such a way that it actually flexed the carbon fiber, but it didn't crack. I mean, it's scraped up right there and it's scraped up here, but it really shows you the quality of the parts you're getting from Tyga. I mean, it could have just been really cheap carbon fiber that they gave us, but no, this is actually really nice carbon fiber. Alright, next we're going to do our triple tree and our clip-ons. Whenever I have these off, I'm also going to weigh them because I really want to know what the real weight difference is between the Tyga setup and the stock setup. Let's start by loosening up all of our switches, the actual bars themselves, cutting off all of the zip ties, and removing our clutch lever and the brake setup. For the brake master cylinder, loosen these 2 top bolts and it's going to come right off. For the right side kill switch and starter switch, you'll actually use a stubby Phillips head screwdriver to get down underneath and pull the bolts out. And then whenever you're done with all of that, we can pull the triple off as an assembly. Alright, to remove your triple, all you have to do is loosen the 2 bolts on either side of the forks and remove this top cap bolt. This bolt in the center of the triple is a 24 millimeter. And then your very next step will be to remove your ignition cylinder so you can swap it over to the new triple tree. And that's it, it's totally removed, so let's go weigh it and see how much the difference is between stock and the Tyga setup. So, as you can see, the Tyga setup is 2 pounds, 12 ounces. Let's see how much the stock setup weighs. So it looks like 3 pounds, 10 ounces. So, I think that it claims about 2 pounds, but you know, 1 pound still really isn't that bad. It also gives you replaceable parts. At least the next time I crash, all I have to do is replace a clip-on instead of the entire thing. Alright, the time has arrived to do what everybody wants to do so they can start seeing a finished product. Let's throw these clip-ons on. Thankfully, Tyga is nice enough to drill 2 holes in the clip-ons to support our accessory switches and our throttle. So I think that's super awesome because usually you don't get that, and I usually just end up pulling the pins out so that they can just rotate freely, and that's really not how the manufacturer wanted us to do things to begin with. So the clip-ons just slide right over the forks. If you've already bolted your ignition switch on, you can go ahead and put the triple tree on. And it just slides over. Use a little bit of force, and if it doesn't immediately seat all the way, use a very soft rubber mallet. And there it is. Now we're going to want to put our steering stem nut back on. And tighten the actual locking bolts on the forks with a 6 millimeter Allen. Now that that's done, we can actually start working on our clip-ons now. Selecting the angle we want to use, all of that good stuff. So for me, I'm going to loosen the actual bar, pull it out, and then slide everything else onto it. And I'll just be able to slide my clutch perch in place just like that. Then you can put your headlight switch back on. And you'll use the guide holes that are drilled in to the actual clip-on to figure out exactly where the switch is supposed to be oriented. See how I can't rotate it? Alright, for this bar you're going to want to slide your throttle tube on first, get it connected with the throttle cable, then put your switch over, and then fit your brake master cylinder. And luckily again, we have the pinholes that have been drilled into the bar from the factory. So it lets us know exactly where we're supposed to be. And everything looks like it lines up absolutely perfect. Short screws on these switches go in the front, and then the long ones go on the back. Once you're done there and everything's tight, Make sure you can rotate your throttle assembly freely, because it's got to be able to rotate freely. If it's got any kind of crunch in it or drag, then you've done something wrong and you need to take it apart and start over and make sure it's not rubbing somewhere. But after you've got your throttle tube back on, let's go ahead and get our brake master cylinder remounted. Just goes on the same way it came off. There's nothing fancy about it. And before we tighten this down, we're going to get the angle correct that we want on this switch assembly and our throttle, and tighten the bar in the clamp. Once that's tightened there, find your preferred brake lever angle and go ahead and tighten it down. So once you're done, go ahead and sit on it and feel it and figure out whether or not it feels right to you, because you can adjust several aspects of this. You can adjust how far in the bars are, what angle they're at, you know, everything. So you're also going to want to adjust your clutch and brake lever position to make sure that they feel right for you. And that's just going to be loosening the bolts and just kind of playing with them and getting them level. But for me, this feels perfect. This triple clamp, these bars, they ended up being really nice. I loved that they're pre-drilled from the factory. And I also love the fact that they weigh a little bit under a pound less than the stock setup. So I'll definitely be buying more Tyga stuff from the future. I've already got the rear sets, the cowl, the underbelly. I'm about to put the race fairing on the front. And there's so much more stuff that they've got to offer that's just fantastic. I'm definitely going to be looking into buying some more of it. And if you'd like to know more about these parts, go ahead and log on to www.formula390.com. They carry everything Tyga produces in stock. Matt gives great customer service and everything ships out super fast with UPS. As always, thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure you click that like button. And if you're new here, make sure you click that subscribe button so you can see more videos like this from me in the future. And as always, do not forget to have a nice day.